reading the 14-page indictment yesterday were that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on. That's not to say that they were necessarily even involved in any of the things that are alleged by the U.S. Attorney's Office. But if you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off sex parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Word on the street is, Diddy is facing serious heat from the feds, and now it looks like he might bring Jay-Z into the mix next. It feels like the door is wide open now for anyone who once stood close to him, and the spotlight is quickly shifting to every celebrity who built their name around those same circles.
What I heard is that over the next 18 months, and honestly, when did Diddy start getting exposed? It was in December, or was it January? When did the Diddy stuff pop off? Because I knew about 2 years ago I knew about a year before the Diddy stuff went down that was going down first. Then it's going to be Jay-Z. November? Okay. After the powers that be, the PTB, the industry, whatever you want to call them, once they're done with Diddy, right? And this is going to be going on for some time, but once, I guess you can say, the public humiliation, basically after the major documentaries come out, right? After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed.
Jay-Z, though, has he ever really done anything? Well, Jaguar Wright has actually been calling him out for years now, saying he has been involved in some really dark things, and she has never backed down from her claims, no matter how many people tried to silence her.
Said he was going to jail because God told me he was going to jail.
Have you ever been in one of these Diddy parties?
Yes, I have. I sat down with Storm Monroe 4 years ago and said that man was an S, and he was using the business to S traffic young women and men. I said all, but when I pray for something, it always comes true. And I prayed the same prayer for Sean Carter. Y'all better get ready. I knew between the two Seans, go for the weaker one. Go for the knees. And I told Sean Carter, you are so closely tied to Diddy.
Being that he's in there with the feds and all that, you think Diddy gonna start giving up some names?
What are you talking about? He's been giving up names for years.
Okay.
Make no mistake about it, him, Sean Carter and Sean Combs are government informants. There is absolutely no way guys like this, who were the bottoms in their neighborhood, end up on top without government sanctioned help. These aren't the kind of guys that started off super scary. They hung with the super scary guys, but these weren't the kind of guys that started off. See, everybody sees them for who they are now, but you're not imagining who the they were. Who they were before. Before they made their little special deals. Before they started doing all of the things they do. And listen, go back and listen to Gene Deal. There was an evolution from Puffy to the Diddler.
Speaking on it right now. He'll be one of the first dudes that they'll probably pull to the side and say, yo, well, you say that your man, I heard you on TMZ say that he never did this and he never did that, but ain't this you? If those pictures or those films or anything like that exist. You know what I'm saying? That's what they pay those agents to do. So, of course, I don't believe that none of the people who are his celebrity friends is gonna speak or say nothing until they're either contacted or they know what they really got.
So you feel like they might be worried that they might be on tape at one of Diddy parties doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing?
I think that the celebrities that may be worried is because what Lil Rob said. Lil Rob said in his affidavit that Diddy had every room taped and bugged. Diddy had, yo, bro, can you imagine? He had every room taped and bugged, and they found little bugs or little tape recorders. I mean, little those micro projectors or whatever like that, or video cameras. They found them in the house, bro. So by them having those things in the house, and people know there's alcohol, there's loose women, there's loose men, woman on woman, man on man, all kind of crazy bruh. They just wondering who or when they're gonna let this stuff be known. If it's on videotape.
Yeah, man, I know they gotta be shook, man, after finding out he was recording everything.
But not only celebrities, I don't think it's only celebrities gonna be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there. Hallelujah. That's crazy.
You personally, you think they got tapes?
Well, my personal opinion that if Lil Rob could be trusted and his statements are true, they got him. They got tapes and stuff.
She also spoke up about how Diddy has been using fear to keep people quiet for years, saying he's been controlling and pressuring those around him to protect his secrets. And now it seems like the walls are finally closing in as more people find the courage to speak out. Clips.
Why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Managed to do all this. How did he get so much power over people? Well, it might be because he reportedly forced people to record everything that happened at his parties, using those moments to collect dirt and keep everyone in check, holding their secrets like weapons to protect himself and control the game.
Because of his mentors and the people that trained him and taught him the music business. You know, it's all about the people who trained and taught him the music business, because Puff wasn't he wasn't born a monster. You know what I'm saying? He was made into a monster, brother. Do you understand what I'm saying? He was made into a monster from the stuff that happened to him, the things that he had to do. You understand? The things that he had to do to become who he is. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like this, brother. You never like something so much that you can't do without, and you never be willing to do anything to get where you want to be at. You gotta have principles, you gotta have morals, you gotta keep with that stuff. And in that music business, a lot of that stuff get thrown out the window. You understand? And that's what happened to him. He started doing the things to other people that was done to him. To keep it frank, he was doing the things to other people that was done to him. And it is what it is. You gotta know better. And if you know better, you will do better. When he was in New York City, he was like that Gecko from the Geico commercial. Then he turned and started going, when he lived in Cali and Miami, he turned into Godzilla. I would see him talk about how he was never like that. Smoking cigarettes, smoking weed and everything like that, he turned into something that you could consider a monster. You gotta realize, man, he learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clyde Davis. You understand? When those people are telling you that they were heavy into they was heavy into beating women and doing things at that age, at that crazy stage, that's gonna make him think that he could get away with the same thing that they was getting away with back then. You understand? The things that he was saying, you know, the touchy-feely between two men and all that stuff like that, man. All that, he learned that from them dudes. When I told y'all the story, when me and my man went up to Russell Simmons and he had a house and he had a man in bikini drawers in his bedroom, in his bed. You understand? Bruh, this is that he learned. I'm assuming he learned it from them. Let me put that. And I'm not gonna say alleged because I saw that for my own self. My man was with me, Slick was with me, and we saw that for our own self. You understand what I'm saying? So these are behaviors and things that would, and all the stuff that's going on, pills, drinking, it can make this man into a monster, and that's what it did, bro. It made him into a monster, bro.
Diddy has been a major force in Hollywood for decades, always moving with an A-list circle that includes Jay-Z, Beyonce, Rick Ross, Usher, and even Justin Bieber when he threw his massive 50th birthday party at a Beverly Hills mansion in 2019. The place was packed with stars like Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, Pharrell, and Snoop Dogg. You know it was a serious event when you see that kind of guest list, but now with heavy legal trouble closing in, his celebrity friends could be stepping into. A dangerous zone former prosecutor Nima Rahmani from West Coast Trial Lawyers told the U.S. Sun that if this case hits trial, people like Jay-Z could technically get subpoenaed, though it's unlikely they would ever actually testify.
Combs has been denied bail in connection with the sexual abuse and sex trafficking charges he faces. And as Les Trent reports, the music mogul who once traveled by private jet to all those mansions is now in a jail that is notorious for its bad living conditions.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs spent his first night behind bars inside a facility that is being called Hell on Earth.
Phase for Jay-Z, Rahmani explained that if he was just a witness and had no part in the alleged acts, he might be asked to testify. But if he was actually involved, he would either be facing charges or quietly left out because prosecutors don't want witnesses who took part in crimes but somehow get a free pass. Jay-Z and Diddy go way back. Their bond started in the early 90s, and they stayed close for years. But things got a little shaky earlier this year when 50 Cent publicly called out Jay-Z for staying silent after the police raided Diddy's house. 50 even posted a picture on Instagram of a milk carton with Jay-Z's face on it and the word missing showing his signature humor, but also making a big point in Rahmani's view. Diddy's famous friends probably won't rush to defend him as this storm keeps growing. The only ones who might stay are his family and a few loyal people, because right now Diddy is in serious trouble, and it is not looking good for him at all.
2023, after public allegations were made about Combs' crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee.
Diddy went on to talk about how he picked up this predatory behavior from some of the biggest celebrities in the game, the ones who showed him how things really work behind the scenes. These were powerful people who moved in silence and taught him how to control situations, how to protect himself, and how to keep others under his thumb using fear, loyalty, and secrets to build his empire from the start.
They don't want to get no kind of put in their system. But what they don't understand is in the orange juice and it's in the cranberry juice. They didn't put the pills and the stuff in there, the roofies, the ecstasy, the ease, all whatever they put it in the juice. Now, those girls who like the mixed drinks, you understand what I'm saying? They gonna pour their own sexual act because they don't understand it ain't in the bottles, it's in the juice. Those guys, they learn that. And they put it to those girls who don't know no better.
Prosecutors are accusing the hip-hop mogul of running wild drug-fueled sex marathons known as freak-offs, where female victims and male sex workers were involved, and these so-called events sometimes lasted for days. Diddy, who has pleaded not guilty, tried to fight for bail by offering strict conditions. He promised to limit female visitors to his Miami Beach mansion, hoping that would help his case. His legal team pushed for a $50 million bail deal, using his Miami home as collateral, and even offered to have him under electronic monitoring with tight visitor rules, only allowing family caretakers and friends not connected to the federal case, but the court was not convinced, and the deal didn't go through.
You doing this back then, these freak-off sessions, when you were security? Because I'm looking at this lawsuit, and that's what they would call it, freak-off sessions, when, you know, Cassie, she'll have sex with the male prostitute while he'll masturbate.
Bruh, I can't say, because I can't say that. When I used to see him swing, it was always with him, another dude, and two girls. You know what I'm saying? When he was swinging with other people, you know what I'm saying? He always had other girls in the room or another guy in the room, even with his girl Kim, and he was swinging with her. So that freak off things, but him videotaping and everything like that, no, I can't say that I was privy to that. But you knew what was going on, you know, and just in the instant when people got it confused when I said, when he was in the room with Sarah and her girlfriend, and he had Ja Rule and him in the room. Yo, I didn't know they was doing anything freaky until Ja came out and said, yo, y'all didn't want to be in there because there's a lot of freaky things going on. So I guess that was one of those freak-off sections.
According to reports, those parties were like hell on earth. Diddy was even willing to hand over a nightly log of every visitor to his house and agreed to weekly drug testing. All these strict promises were meant to ease the court's concerns, that he might try to reach out to or pressure witnesses, but the prosecutors were not convinced. They reminded the court about Diddy's long history of intimidating accusers, and witnesses showing that these new promises were not enough to trust him.
People didn't even think that this was that, you know, Cassie was telling lies, Gene been telling lies, Lil Rob been telling lies, everybody lying on Diddy. But Diddy told the truth. Diddy's the only one told the truth. He said, y'all just keep watching, the truth will soon come out. And you see what came out? My man, he punching that little girl in the head. Yo, you don't even kick a dog, man. You don't even kick a dog, bro. You kicking that little girl like she's a dog, man. Yo, it was crazy, man. Any man that has a sister, any man that has a friend that's a girl, any man that has a child, you understand, who saw that, if they wasn't appalled, if they wasn't like, yo, I wanna beat the, you know what I'm saying? We can't say that on television, man, or on the internet or YouTube, but any man who saw that, wish they could put their hands on Diddy at that time, bro. That shit was appalling, bro. It was crazy, man. And when I saw it, you know, I could imagine what Kim went through. I could imagine what Misa went through. You understand? It was just crazy, man, for that dude to do that to that girl like that, man.
I can't believe what I seen, man. I still can't believe what I seen in that video, man. Like, the way he was kicking her was like he was kicking a field goal, man.
Bruh, when I saw him run down first of all, when I saw the white towel, I got flashbacks of him and Ja Rule running out the room. He beat that woman till she was crawling up under a car, man. No matter how small she was crawling up under the car, man. You got to be real scared, man. That's crazy.
Even brought up security footage from one of the freak-offs that showed Diddy hitting his then-girlfriend singer Cassie in a hotel hallway. The indictment lays out a dark story of how Diddy allegedly used his fame and power to pull women in pretending it was about love, but then pushing them into these intense freak-offs. The events were said to be highly planned, with Diddy directing and recording while watching everything from the sidelines. Some of these marathons went on for days, leaving people so drained they needed IV fluids just to recover from the physical toll.
Why has Jay-Z been coming up with you lately?
Because he's a monster. He's a monster. And I know he's a monster if he is. I waited a long time to see if he would grow a conscience. And the more drugs he pumps down his wife's throat to keep her in a kennel.
No, girl. Not my beautiful Beyonce.
I tell you this right now, y'all talking about free Britney. Y'all need to be doing a campaign that say free Beyonce.
Beyonce is free.
She is a prisoner in a gilded cage.
Oh no.
She better than me. I passed. I made a good choice.
If Beyonce is in prison, she's in one of the most expensive prisons ever.
Yes, she is. And she's watched 24 hours a day. She's not allowed to make a choice for herself, not at all, not in any way. People think she has an amazing life. She is told what to say, she is told what to eat, she is told what to drink, she is told what to wear.
By whom?
She is not her husband's wife, she is his employee. It's a business arrangement. She was a dowry. He married her and he got to have control of the Houston rap scene behind the scenes. Matthew Knowles handed it over to him, and then he Eddie over, moved him out the way and took the whole for himself.
No.
They were supposed to share that bitch. They supposed to share. But Sean Carter don't share so good. He likes to keep everything all to himself. And anything that he can't move around or move out the way, he'll just remove. I'm tired of you, Sean. That Jacqueline Avon, you went too far. You and that demon honeycomb. Y'all had that mother shoot that 80-year-old woman in the back so that you could dope up her husband and move him out the way and claim his spot as the kings of LA. I promise you, you will both fall. You will fall. You shot Nana in the back. That's how bad y'all wanted it. You murdered an 80-year-old woman so you could drug a 90-year-old man who didn't want to retire and turn it over to y'all greasy.
Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, is claiming that all the freak-offs were just part of his rocky on-again, off-again relationship with singer Cassie, and says nothing about them was forced or abusive, but prosecutors are telling a very different story. They say they have already spoken to over 50 victims and witnesses, and that number is expected to keep growing as the case unfolds. Clip Jay-Z, just know everybody's going to be talking about this. TMZ is going to catch it first, and then it's going to be everywhere, probably for the next 6 months. He knows what's coming. The shade on the Grammys, the shade on the whole industry. It's like the end of a chapter they left after that moment, and he already knows the clock is ticking. I was just saying this to someone the other day. Nobody really escapes what they do in life. It always circles back one way or another. And now it looks like it's Sean's time to face it. People say Satan is here to collect. Now let me tell you where he got that hair from. It's no secret. His hair was inspired by Jean-Michel Basquiat. That's where the look came from, wasn't it, Rossi? I think it was Rossi. This is the entertainment world. And honestly, most people in it are moving in all kinds of directions. I'm here to tell you that pretty much everybody is living like that. And now the real question is, how long before people start coming after Jay-Z too? Let us know what you think in the comments.